Welcome to episode 70 of the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogues. Everything okay back there? Everybody okay back there?
We're good. We're good.
Okay,
and I'm Brian Hines. Are you sure?
Look, I just have a large behind, and I bump into things sometimes. It happens. I am Tiny Brian, your producer. Welcome to the podcast, folks. We're 70 episodes in. This is how good we are at it.
We're getting into all the action from OVW Rise Halloween Hell Night. That is 13/16, emanating live originally from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena.
But first, we would like to welcome our guests, collectively known as the Wisco Chicks among the OVW fans, Wendy and Ren.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how are you guys?
Y'all? Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much
finally
for
coming
us.
to see us.
No, thanks for having us.
The pleasure is all ours. So it is, and that is at Wisco Chicks, WISCOCHICKS.
Yes.
The Wisco
Yes.
Chicks, yes.
The Wisco Chicks.
Yes.
You guys travel a lot for wrestling, do a lot of cool stuff, take some great photographs, kind of a journal in some ways of your guys' friendship and your guys' relationship with wrestling, and that can be found on all of social media or just Instagram?
Instagram, Twitter, X, and yeah, just those two platforms we have.
Okay. So,
And then personally on Facebook.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All over the OVW fan zone.
Yeah, if you're in the fan
in
zone.
the fan
If
zone.
you're in the
of course,
fan
we
zone,
are.
you already know.
Yeah, they
You
are.
already know
Yeah.
the fan zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we're
are.
You guys are.
we're your
You're
very-
moderator.
Where you
Not
get your
famous
videos, your
moderators, but yeah.
photos, our inputs, whatever you need.
Yes.
You are a
We do-
valuable
we
part
do-
of the moderation team.
we do moderate, and if you upset me, I delete stuff. So
And
yeah,
ban
there
you.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
I do
ban
it
some
all the time.
spammers this morning.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
see?
So, like, that guy
See
who
what I
came
mean?
in yesterday and was like, "Who here has a podcast?" Like, he definitely started DMing the podcast some spammy stuff, and I'm like, "You're out."
Yeah.
You're outta
bye,
here. I
bye,
did
dude.
catch that, but I didn't follow up or anything.
So-
if I would have
You
realized, I would have
you can
given
ask,
the old Captain
yeah,
Hook.
for real.
So-
I mean, you can ask Tiny Brian though. I don't just ban people willy nilly. I usually talk to somebody.
Yeah, there's a
first.
whole
Yeah.
thing, and
We do a thing.
they're very judicious. And
Yes.
they do a
For
great job.
real.
Jackman,
Yes.
you're not on social media, so a Facebook group is a thing that you can do on Facebook.
Yeah,
where a bunch of
Poor
people.
Like
All
the
of your friends can be part of it.
like the one I started about Miss Town's class in high school about it being way too easy. I know. I've been around. All right.
I think I'd file
Okay,
that
so
under B for burn.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
She sucked. Camille Towns, you suck.
Oh wow,
By the
Tell
way,
us how you really
old
feel.
wounds here on the
Right.
podcast.
Miss Moore from 4th grade, you suck too. Miss Holman, 5th grade through 8th grade, you suck. All right.
All the school drama and
yes,
everything.
Wow.
yes,
Are we good?
yes.
We get everything out?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually, since we have guests here, I wanted to start with you guys a little bit and ask, who was your worst teacher you ever had? No, I wanted to ask. I wanted to
Okay, where do I start?
I wanted to ask how you guys got involved because you guys are from Wisconsin, obviously. Wisco Chicks. I know that you guys.
Hello, Wisconsin.
I
Hello,
know you
hello.
guys are wrestling fans up there. How did you end up deciding that you wanted to travel for OVW though? Was it seeing the people in Wisconsin or what? How? Tell me about that.
That's a really good question. Thanks for asking.
No problem.
That's why we pay him absolutely no extra
Yeah.
bucks to do
I know,
this.
right? I know. So, so it's a long story. No, so Crusher Fest 2023 is a thing that happens in Wisconsin. It used to happen every year. Now it only happens every other year, apparently.
Okay.
But we went because we wanted to meet Cowboy Bob Orton and Ted
Ted
DiBiase
DiBiase.
Sr.
Okay.
So we went, and
Is
we
that
ended
a
up.
GLCW event?
Yes,
It
it
was
was.
a GLCW,
Yes, it was.
but we didn't know. I was
Right.
like, "Who's
You just wanted to
what's
see
a
Ted
GLC?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
We
yeah.
wanted to see Cowboy Bob Orton because Randy.
Randy's father,
Of course, yeah.
Sure.
We want to see the legacy.
Yeah, you know, and it's a legacy thing. It's always been a legacy thing for me. You know,
So you
I'm a
guys-
huge Dusty fan, so you
Yeah.
know. And I didn't know anything about GLCW.
No.
We really didn't know anything about GLCW. So I'm taking bootleg pictures of people, and later on, I discovered that I had all these bootleg pictures of Al Snow, and I was like, who? What's in Al Snow? You know, what's head? I don't know.
So heretofore, what is your
Me
connection
neither.
to wrestling? Is it just through the one based in Connecticut? What do you watch? What have you been watching heretofore? You both of you.
Well, I mean, it kind of started with that. I mean, yeah, we've grown up with wrestling our whole entire lives. My dad used to watch, of all things, Glow. In the 80s and early 90s, of course, it was, you know, the Connecticut thing. But
You feel free to call them WWE. That's just my dumb joke.
Whatever. But, I mean, it was sporadic. It wasn't, like, everyday kind of thing, you know. It wasn't until Crusher Fest that we actually got into independent wrestling.
Right.
So that's where the passion came in.
And then there was a little break because we thought, okay, it was just going to be a one-time thing. But then Netflix wrestlers came into our life.
Sure.
It
And-
was like
Crixus.
Crixus, definitely. And then certified. Can we get your autograph certified? Can we get your picture certified? I was like,
And then Burlington Brawl happened, so we met Crixus and we met Cashflow and we met Certified and Al. What's an Al?
Was it at the Coat Factory?
No.
Okay.
It's
That's a
Burlington
different
Brawl.
thing.
It's a city in
Okay.
Wisconsin,
I
and it was the first time that it happened.
It was
in
the inaugural.
Burlington. Yeah, it was the inaugural.
and it was for the
GLC.
veterans.
It was a
Wisconsin veterans.
GLCW thing.
Go, good deal.
Yeah, and it supported the veterans.
Yeah.
And so Dave, Hero, brought everybody up there. And, I mean, it was a phenomenal show, you know.
And that would be Cal's dad, of
Cal's
course.
dad, of course.
In case there are people
In
who have
case
never
people
heard
don't
the-
know,
In case it's your
Dave
first
Hero
time.
Dave Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave
So,
Hero.
and we met all those people. And, I mean, it was instantaneous, you know.
It
We
was.
met them, and it was like, oh, well, okay. And, I mean, unfortunately, Crixus got hurt that night, right? So,
Oh,
That's
that-
when he had
yeah,
to
it
relinquish
was,
his.
it was
with the
that.
Jay De
It was
Niro
then.
match.
Yes, it was.
Who? Anyway.
Aw.
So yeah, but yeah, and
And here,
so then January happened and we went to GLCW, and then February happened and we went to GLCW, and then it was like, okay, well, we need to figure out when we can go to Kentucky
Kentucky.
because, and then March Mayhem happened, and that was the
Was
first
that
time
your
we
first
came
show?
down.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was our first show.
I
That's our first
appreciate you not missing the name on that one because we'd have to get our lawyers involved because we get sued.
No, we.
Oh,
yeah.
we don't speak
That
about
might be
the
the-
other.
No, we don't talk about the other one.
We don't talk
because,
about the sports
like we
balls
talked
here.
about before.
We only talk about once on the mat.
So,
yeah.
thinking about it from you guys, from y'all's perspective, I guess GLCW must seem a bit like special pay-per-views that are connected to OVW, like because there's so much overlap between the stars of the OVW and the stars of the GLCW. It's a lot of letters.
It is. It is.
Absolutely.
I mean, which is why, you know, every time there's a GLCW show, I'm always putting it in the fan zone because it's like, okay, well, you want to see your OVW people, you know, come
to
up here to
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin because that's where they're going to be this day. Because there's a lot of you know,
OVW people.
OVW people that come up. You know, Super Z's always there. Tony Gunn was there last weekend. J-Rod was supposed to be there.
You will
Who
see
else came
Cal
up?
and her.
Boy Toy Troy, Star
Star
Player
Player.
Prime.
Yep.
Bruce Hamilton came up.
Yes, he did.
Jay De Niro was there. Who else was there?
That's who I'm. Sophia Rose was
Oh,
there.
Sophia and
Sophia,
Cal.
I kind of
Cal,
enjoy that
course.
it's all the same players, but they don't necessarily have the same gimmicks there too.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
wondering
no,
is
yeah.
what is kind of the overlap is who's who would be a face in OVW but a heel in GLCW or vice versa.
That's a good question.
That
Yeah,
is-
good
that's a
question.
really good question. So
Does De Niro talk more in
No.
GCLW? No.
no,
No. Oh, speaking of what, you will see Tony Evans sometimes up in Wisconsin too.
and he's
Yeah.
still
He's still a
Tony
heel.
Evans,
Right.
and I'm still the only fan in the house. And that's okay.
Our boss joined when you're here. Our boss is a fan.
I know.
too,
so there's two of
famously,
us
yeah.
in the house.
Well,
right?
Jack Bond's a
But,
good
yeah.
example actually. When he
Yeah.
comes up, he goes back and forth. Whatever.
Yeah, he's back and forth.
I can see
sometimes. Tony Gunn has actually been face at GLCW
Yes, he
when
has.
he's been heel at OVW, but you know he was in a match with Cal over the weekend. But of course, you know Tony's a bad guy, so
and it was
he
a
was
trick
still
or
a bad
treat
guy,
match.
and it was a trick or treat match. So
Oh, what were the stipulations?
It was like a street match.
It was just a.
W-
It was a trick or street match.
Was there candy?
Trick or street fight.
Yes,
Yes,
there was
candy corn
candy
and
corn
Legos.
and
Just like what we
Legos
saw
and
just
a
recently.
pumpkin that ended up on
Tony Gunn's head.
Tony Gunn's head, and it was.
It was
kinda
carved. It was
funny.
carved.
Yeah.
The pumpkin. So.
So you could at least see what he was doing, dude.
Yeah.
Did they dump out the candy corn like that was Legos and
Yes.
then like
Yeah.
do a
It was in a-
that's
Yeah.
that's
Good.
everything I wanted in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
match.
That was-
Good.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was
in this
what I
little
was
bag.
hoping to hear.
Yeah.
So good.
Well,
Yeah. It was good.
thank you for kind of catching us up on how you guys got involved with OVW. You guys' journey as wrestling fans and as friends together.
Absolutely.
We kind of moving along though.
We do
there's-
have some breaking news.
There is a weird thing that's
Uh-oh.
happened in the world of independent wrestling this past week, in the form of WWE ID. Wendy and Ren, did you guys hear about this?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, we have.
This may be the end of my Connecticut joke forever, really,
Yeah. It could-
because they are coming dangerously close to us now.
Don't tell the jokes when somebody's trying to take a drink because I'm going to end up wearing it sooner or later.
You're not. I'm good at this.
A new shade of colors on the pants.
Do what?
A new shade of colors on the pants.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us about WWE ID, Jackman.
So from what I have read from not only their official statement, but a little bit on Fightful Select. WWE ID is a program that will kind of it will pay attention to what could be the next independent star and get them in the WWE system before they have an opportunity to go to somewhere like All Elite Wrestling or TNA or Japan or Europe. It's about letting them still ply their trade and get in those really essential reps that you can only learn in a wrestling ring, but also kind of sponsoring them in their journey. I grew up in skateboarding and like really wanted to like be a sponsored skater, and all that means is they give you a little bit of money and a lot of clothes and you can only wear their stuff. And I feel like the WWE ID is kind of similar to that.
So are they going for individuals within? Because this is a thing that they're affiliating with wrestling academies specifically, right?
And so far it seems like all the wrestling academies that they've signed with are owned by WWE wrestlers.
Sure.
Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins come to mind immediately.
You assume those people probably are no slouches in the
Rikishi.
land.
Of
course,
sure.
Yeah.
Rikishi School, right.
I think that's the three that are involved now,
Booker
right?
T's.
Oh,
Booker
yeah,
T
Booker
School.
T's, yeah.
Oh, certainly, yeah, since he's still a part of the commentary team.
Yes.
But the kind of what my understanding is through Fightful Select is that this is the first of charters that are going to go out. So this program will not only include these handful of schools for the entirety of the program, A, and B, there are wrestlers currently taking advantage of this program, but no concrete contracts. Nobody knows who they are.
No promises, no demands. Wrestling is a battle.
But apparently there are independent wrestlers out there as we speak, as we record this podcast, as you guys are listening to it, that are taking advantage of the WWE ID program. I would imagine if you're OVW right now, you're looking at the WWE ID program as the next goal.
The golden ticket, for sure.
You know, and it's I would hate to sit and say like, oh, OVW should give up on national dreams or international program dreams. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that it seems to me that the function of OVW right now is to teach people the tools of how to go to that next level, and having an association with the WWE ID program is a obvious choice to kind of gather and garner talent for me personally.
Can I tell you what my dream is? Al Snow gets a Legends contract, and then OVW Academy moves into the WWE ID program.
I think that the press release alone for WWE might be too much to handle staying away from. The press release of WWE comes back to OVW is a huge headline for a lot of different reasons, and if you're a hardcore wrestling fan from that era, that will titillate you, frankly speaking.
No, I would be here for it.
Having said that, anytime WWE gets involved in anything and it's a mutually beneficial relationship, it ain't. So moving forward with this, you kind of have to find that balance. And I'm sure, you know, when you're the Cody Rhodes or the Seth Rollins or the Rikishis or the Booker T's of the world, you're going to have a little bit more leeway at what happens in your school while WWE is involved with it. There's going to be a lot of schools that find out. I'm not saying OVW will be one of them. There's going to be a lot of schools that find out that this relationship isn't as pie in the sky as they think it is.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, the grass may not be greener on the other side. But that's just kind of my 2 cents.
So I think it's perfectly fair to say that WWEID may prove not to be right for the OVW Academy. So it's probably a good idea for us not to say right now they must do it. You know?
I'm not saying they must do it,
It's
but
just an interesting development that's happened in the over the course of the last week or so.
Wendy and Ren,
Like
I'm
that.
sure that you would agree that there's no way that conversation hasn't at least happened when this press release comes out.
Absolutely. I think that they'd be stupid not to have the conversation.
Right.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, well, we're already enrolled in the OVW Academy. Does that mean that when we graduate, we're not going to get tapped
Yeah.
because we're not in the Cody Rhodes School of Wrestling? We're not in the Rikishi School of Wrestling? What if we went to the Dustin Rhodes School of Wrestling? You know?
You
Well-
already got Sophia Rose, who's an alum.
Right.
So why
Right.
not?
We've
a good
already
point.
got Cal Hero, who, he knows God and everybody
Right.
in wrestling. Why hasn't he
I
been
think he was
tapped
hanging
to
out
go?
with Haku a couple weeks ago.
Yes, he was.
Yes,
That's right,
he was.
yeah.
Yes, he was.
Haku is an amazing guy. I'm just saying.
Oh, that was up in
in
Wisconsin. Yeah, that's
Wisconsin,
right. So
yeah.
you would know all about that.
Yes, we would.
Nice man.
Nice man. Very nice man.
I bet.
Tribal king.
To speak to your point,
Very
you're
expensive action figure.
Yes.
you're really I think you kind of hit the nail on the head of what are the qualifications going to be once WWEID ends up in a school like this. Could it even just to be a way to take from these smaller schools guys that they could teach and guys they could put know
Right.
on their
Right.
wall as guys like that came through here.
Yeah.
They'll just take them from, like, let's say a random school in Cleveland
Right.
to Cody Rhodes or to and
Well, I mean, you've even got Cody Rhodes, who did
OVW
start at OVW,
Yeah.
and
right?
has talked
kind
about
of?
it on both of the companies he's been in the last 5 years.
Exactly. So you've got Cody Rhodes, who went to WWE, and now we're only going to take guys who graduated from the Cody Rhodes
Right.
School of Wrestling. So if Al Snow trains you, you're not good enough to go to WWE?
'Cause
I mean, that's kind of
'cause
how I see
apparently
it,
you are.
but you kind of are, because Cody was, and now he's like the dude,
He's
right?
he's going to
Right.
end
Yeah.
up being the baby face of the new generation era.
The new
Right.
John Cena.
Yeah, and I mean he is a ready-made star that was in Louisville. I just don't think kind of to wrap it up. I for me personally, as a wrestling fan, maybe this makes me a dumb mark. Maybe I'm a dumb mark. I'm okay with that.
okay.
Either way, I think the press release WWE returns to OVW is like too much for WWE to stay away from. Is it the right move for OVW? I don't know, but I couldn't imagine them just not wanting
Turning
that-
their nose up at
Right.
it. Like,
Just-
oh, no, I'm sorry.
just wanting
No.
the IP of it, just
Right.
wanting the history of it.
Yeah.
Because now, guess what? They're going to have to replace Brock Lesnar with Cody Rhodes when they talk about the OVW Academy, when they talk about the people who've come
Well,
through.
you got Randy
Yeah.
Orton's name.
Yeah.
You got Dave Bautista's
That's
name.
true.
Yeah.
You got a lot of
You
the
got
Miz,
Mickey
Cena.
James.
Mickey
You got Mickey
James,
James.
Beth
exactly.
Phoenix.
CM Punk.
They need to talk about more of the women that have came through OVW generally,
Yes,
I
they
think.
do. Yes, they do.
I have a couple of quick thoughts on this before we wrap it up. First of all, it occurs to me most of these academies, not only the ones they have now, but any that they choose in the future, including OVW Academy, has a wrestling promotion attached to it. So this starts to feel a little bit like if I'm OVW, if I'm Al Snow, and they get the ID, I'm probably going to put the WWE ID on every poster from then on.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it feels a little like we're recreating the territories here, like a WWE territories.
That is an interesting thought.
Like
Yeah, but
back in the
that's-
70s and
yeah.
80s.
Yes, only all kind of under one generalizing, and maybe even thinking, if you think of a college,
One generalized, homogenous.
Yes, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
It's not.
But it is all, and I also think of like how colleges have accrediting boards that say they're doing the right things and kind of moving to the right standards. This could also maybe be thought of as that.
Right.
And I think that could be really important. These people need to be trained
The right way.
The right way. Al said that 1,000 times, not only on this program, but anywhere else that'll listen to it.
Anytime there's an open mic, basically.
Having said that, though, I can't help but feel that this is WWE's attempt at regulating and homogenizing and whitewashing the independent scene. They've basically done this on a smaller scale in the British independent scene directly prior to the pandemic. I would really look at that and as a small case study for what could happen to the American independent scene if WWE gets their grubby little mitts all over it.
Yeah, Paul, leave it alone.
Papa H.
So one last point about this.
Sounds
I know
painful.
I'm the one who's always like, let's move on. But
H?
does this represent part of the so-called new era of not just WWE but professional wrestling generally? Do we see, like, we're for 50 years wrestling was about one dude's idea of what wrestling should be?
Here's what I'll say to that is that WWE is playing catch up to the way that wrestling's been. Like
Outside
WWE,
of
yes,
America.
outside of their bubble. I've said this 1,000 times. Like,
Well,
WWE
AEW doesn't have anything like this.
AEW will sign any independent thing. Like they work.
They will acknowledge the independence generally.
Exactly.
Yes.
They acknowledge the independence. This is WWE's way of maintaining all of the talent that they could ever have. They already have too much of it, and not allowing independent stars to go anywhere other.
else.
Yes. Yeah.
AEW will sign a kangaroo if it can fight,
Like
Cody
in Tekken.
right?
the
Seen some of those things?
kangaroo's always the baby face.
Kangaroo Jack is all elite.
I mean, during the pandemic era, to tie it back to Cody, that open challenge that he did with the TNT Championship is one of the greatest, showcases for independent and unsigned wrestlers ever, and gave several dudes a career. And then also showed several other dudes they just didn't have what it takes to cut it. And that was that is an important part of wrestling and independent wrestling is learning it your way, learning it the right way, but learning it your way. And just, we don't have to whitewash every single thing. And that's what WWE is going to do. Look at what they did to the UK independent scene, really the European independent scene. They'll do it here in America too.
All right. So, yeah, that's interesting one way or the other.
I'm just saying.
So what are we doing now, Jackman?
A tour update.
Yeah, let's get to the very personal tour update for us. 'Cause guess what we have now?
Oh,
Yeah.
I really
Jackman,
wanna
you
come
do to
to
what you do
this.
to every piece of paper.
yep.
Here's our
I Joe beat it.
Don't roll it up. It's still nice. So every Thursday you can check out OVW Rise at Hot Point Davis Arena. Doors open
Featuring the people on the
around-
poster.
Featuring all the people on the poster and
except
many
Al,
more,
who is
who is
in
still
the hospital.
recovering from injuries. Every Thursday, you can catch it on YouTube TV, 7 o'clock. OVW pay-per-view, Reckoning. That would be, let me look at my watch here. That's tomorrow, right?
I mean, from when this releases, this
Actually,
is later
this will be
today.
later
Later
today.
today. Tonight.
11/2.
11/2. The pay-per-view at Hot Point Davis Arena next Saturday, 1 week from the day you are hearing this. OVW Bourbon Brawl at Bourbon County High School in Paris,
Featuring these
Kentucky.
posters, if you're
Featuring
watching on
these
video.
posters,
These
if
posters.
you're watching us
They've been
on.
dutifully pointing at them for 5
Yes.
minutes as Brian has went on about other matches.
This one is
Yeah.
sponsored by Divine Spirits, and if you
Which is
didn't know,
literally where we are.
that is literally where we are right now. Nuthouse Studios is in Divine Spirits.
Can I put this down now?
You can
Yes.
go ahead and put it down now. Thank you, Ren. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so very much.
We would like to go to this.
Well,
Well,
come and go.
You should.
We might know.
You can
we
have
might,
that poster. You can have both those posters.
We might
Which
know
one
some
he wants the
people.
Yeah,
rolled up one?
we know some folks. It'll
We'll
be
get him a
fun.
fresh one.
Where-
I'll put
where
this
can I
one.
get
I'll take
those
this one to
tickets?
me on campus.
Where can we get those tickets?
Well, we're not quite there yet.
Oh,
We
no, we're not.
We still have more dates.
I'm sorry.
Always with the Russian.
Always with the
yeah.
puttering.
Too much hassle.
OVW Academy are having their first open house, and that is November 17th. That is a Sunday. That is 3 o'clock. That is an interesting opportunity to check out what it would be like to be a professional wrestler if you've always dreamed of standing in the ring and holding your hand up and winning the championship. So if you are available, you are more than welcome to stop by and check out the OVW Academy. That is at Hot Point Davis Arena on November 17th, 3 o'clock. And finally, last but not least, new announcement.
New show alert.
OVW Winter Warfare in New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvanians. This is right before Groundhog Day, by the way. Hey, you know how producer Victor feels about the movie Groundhog Day.
I love Groundhog Day. Don't get me wrong.
Not as much as he does.
No one does.
I could see a business trip of sorts to our neighbors in the Keystone State, and maybe we could check out Winter Warfare and go to Punxsutawney.
I'm good.
All right, that's fine. I wasn't going to take
But
you
if
anywhere.
you're in Western
But
Pennsylvania.
if you're in Western Pennsylvania.
I think that's Western
Do you
Pennsylvania.
need, like, a secretary?
Just don't say you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh. That's just not nice.
I mean, he follows the Bengals.
Whatever.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
The Bungles.
It's
I didn't
okay.
want
I'm
to
a
say
lifelong Cowboys fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
I've
but
been
I'm
watching the
sorry.
Bengals
That's-
since 1981.
Okay.
So Boomer
It's-
Science
it's-
era.
It's Kenny Anderson. Going back before that, it's been a rough way to go, to be perfectly honest, but that's okay.
Okay.
I was going to ask if
I've
you
been a
actually
Cowboys
were
fan my entire life.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you had some good years.
in Wisconsin.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't always lived in Wisconsin.
Oh.
So there's that.
Well, let that be a lesson to you.
My apologies.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
And I'm a Denver fan, so
So
And
my
she
dad
has
grew up
lived in Wisconsin
Denver,
her whole life.
so I grew up a Denver fan.
And
see, we
I
can
was
I'm so sorry.
I
No,
was
It was great for me. We won. I was 8 and 9 when we won 2 Super
There
Bowls
you
back
go.
to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, so-
Back to back.
32 and 33.
Yep.
Have you seen the giant Bronco at the airport?
Yes, actually.
Okay,
It's
no.
ginormous.
It's also scary.
It's
It,
yes.
The eyes glow red.
Yes, they do.
the Denver airport is weird.
Yeah,
It
the,
is.
the whole thing
Yes,
is
it
weird.
is.
If you're into conspiracies, it is a great place to spend an afternoon.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I
and
love that.
I grew
We
up-
love airports, so.
I grew up in Eastern Kentucky where we thought a football was a basketball that laid out in the weather and got warped. So I don't have a football team. I was going to ask if you guys were cheeseheads, but now we've
No.
answered that question pretty
No.
definitively.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
and
my
I'm a-
dad would roll in his grave if I said I even remotely liked the Packers. Oh God, no.
I don't know if I could say I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan here.
You can say whatever you like.
You can.
Any other fans or any other
I'm
teams
an
you're fans
Angels
of?
fan.
That's right. I did see that.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, the only sports ball I care about is Kentucky basketball.
Okay.
And you guys are from
Predictably,
Wisconsin,
yes.
so
Well.
there is a thing with that from 2015, but we won't get into that right here.
I'll be honest. I was born in California. I lived in Texas, and then I moved to Colorado, and now I'm in Wisconsin. I'm a gypsy, so there you go.
All right.
You can get tickets for all of those events that we just talked about, minus the sports balls, at OVWTix.com. And is this time for us to talk about the Bluegrass Homefront? Are we
Well,
going to?
no, we're not going to talk about that.
No?
We have other things to talk about.
Oh,
But
okay.
it is time
We'll be
for a
back
break.
right
I
after
figured
this.
we would do a
We'll be
break.
back right after this.
Hey, folks, Tiny Brian here. Still, I haven't actually moved at all. I just kind of let a beat pass. But listen, this is important. A couple things. Do you have a wrestling promotion? Do you sell comic books in a retail setting? Are you a lawyer who would like to get people who are wrestling fans to come to you when they have personal injuries? I just remember that a wrestling podcast had a lawyer for a sponsor, so that's why I think it was actually the drive-thru that has a wrestling lawyer.
Was it
You would
PJ
be
Jones?
talking about Stephen P. New.
Yeah, Cornette's sponsor. So
Come on,
it's like, come
Stephen
on, we
P.
can find
New.
someone like that.
His
Anyway.
personal, that is actually his personal lawyer.
Well, in wrestling, there are lots of personal lawyers. I don't know what
No,
that means.
Stephen
actually.
P. New's a trademark guy.
Oh, interesting. But anyway, if you have a business and you would like people to go to it, and the people you'd like to go to your business like wrestling, we can help send you there. Our fans of this podcast travel for wrestling. They are literally sitting on our couch right now, having traveled for wrestling. So if you want people to come to your show, let us tell our people about it. Maybe they'll come see it. You can DM us on any of your social media on any of our social media accounts, and we'll be happy to talk to you. I think I said something weird. I'll have to
No
go back
more
and
than
listen
usual.
later.
It's fine.
I was just reading the notes.
Yeah. So now back to the OVW podcast already laughing at me.
All right, so
With you. Not at you, with you.
I don't know why you're laughing, so that's more like at.
With.
With.
Okay, with.
So we had it was Halloween Hell Night. I mean, spin the wheel, make the deal. That's the old stipulation from WCW, right? I have that correct. I've said it enough. I've spoken into existence at this point. Which means Doug Basham kind of comes out looking like only Doug Basham can look with his.
Oh my.
Human stop sign, Doug Basham.
Yeah.
And
But
he's
he
kind
was a
of.
sparkly stop
He
sign.
was sure.
Yeah.
For me, it was the
Sparkles.
beard. I
Yeah, the
loved.
beard
I
was
loved
a
the
little-
beard.
The
yeah.
beard and
And
the
the
eyebrows,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
his head was sparkly too.
Yeah, I loved it all actually. But
Like
he
he
kind of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like he rubbed his head on Ryan Von Rocket before coming
Oh,
outside.
yeah,
He
he
did.
did.
Because Ryan is less sparkly now, by the way, if anybody noticed. He was in the
That's
pre-show.
That's where it all
He
went to.
is.
But he kind of plays host for the evening, Bob Barker host, and he's in control of the host. He's hosting the thing, and he's making the stipulations of what I'm trying to say. I shouldn't have said in control because that comes later. The first match that we get is a trick or street fight,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah,
That's
some
what it's
trick or
called.
street fight
Yep.
between Freya the Slayer and J-Rod.
I like how they did it because I don't remember them doing it the same way last time. Did it seem like it was like a wrestling program in a game show format?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk
This
for
was
a
like an
moment about
actual-
those opening titles, by the way.
Those were
Like
great.
the Game Show music, and then
that was the first
cut
thing
to
that
the
struck
Revolution.
me. Yeah.
Like Jackman, you even mentioned that because we happened to listen to that opening, and you mentioned that last night. How tight that edit is,
Yeah.
and how nice it was.
Yeah, I thought, and I just thought it was really kind of smart, kind of like very super villainy of Doug Basham, very
It reminds me of
over
when,
the top.
when do you guys remember it's the Millennium Man is what the story's called. Just old Stephen King story, a movie.
Oh, The Running Man.
The Running Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
where-
exactly
With
what
Richard
I thought.
Dawson.
With Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Dawson from the old Family Feud came and basically played Doug Basham. I'm pretty sure Doug watched.
That's a good
The
actor.
Running
yeah.
Man.
I
Yeah.
can-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Ren's favorite movie.
One of
Really?
them,
Wow.
yes.
It's like he was basically drag king
Richard
Dawson.
Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
Yes.
Thank you. I kept wanting to go Monty Hall, but that's not the right vibe.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Do you think that J-Rod should have gone for Joker Folie Dude makeup instead of Joker 1 makeup?
Joker one for sure.
Joker 1? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's just, I just was curious why she went with the other one. But I've heard the second one's not great.
I preferred Heath Ledger's makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But Sting, I think Sting kind of, he's like the king of the Heath Ledger Joker makeup.
That and The Crow as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
definitely.
As we kind of get into this match here, I think everyone's been waiting for these two women to lock horns. As big, you don't get two big people, and in the women's division, it's hard to get two big women. And J-Rod and Freya are toe to toe with each other.
Oh
right?
yeah. Very equally matched.
Yes.
How did you guys feel about this match?
I think it was very fairly matched. They were very toe to toe, like Wendy was just saying, and I think those two could put it off. Not like any other, but I'm not saying that not any other woman could have.
Right.
But you can tell when it was a good equally match for these two.
Right. It's a Haas fight. It's a Haas fight.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of unfortunate for as much as these two women put into this match that the stipulation required, the table.
You always want tables.
Yes, always
Yeah.
want tables.
We always want tables
I-
and chairs and ladders. Not ladders.
I could not help when they drug that table out but think, oh, no one's going to go through that. They're just bringing it out to make me think someone's going to go through it. Because I was like,
Turns out you were right.
I was like, that thing is thick. That thing is thick as a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, my
That was
apologies to
hardcore.
the Fern Creek Baptist Church on the damage that was suffered to their poor table.
Yeah. It was spray painted on the bottom.
That was
Two times. Tried to go through 2 times, no dice.
Yeah.
I thought it was 3, but no.
No, it was 2.
This
No, it was 2.
this
It
was a
2.
great way to start off the show.
It really
New
was.
gear for both ladies.
Yes.
They both came out looking fierce.
They did.
Soon as the bell rings, Freya runs across the ring and starts wailing on J-Rod like she's Ralphie in A Christmas Story, beating on Scott Ficus.
Scott
Farkas. And it just went from there. I mean, there were bells, there were street signs, crutches right off the bat. And then we get the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
J-Rod comes out with the candy corn, which, granted, nobody likes candy corn, but is it going to cause it a whole lot of damage? Not really. So what's
But the
Frey
Legos
do?
did.
The Legos,
Yeah.
yeah. Legos is what I was looking for. I don't know why people don't give out Legos for Halloween.
They're expensive. You tried to buy a Lego set recently?
No, you can go to like a toy store and get go into the bin. You don't go to like Walmart and buy a set. You
Just
go to,
3
one of the
random
local
Lego
guys.
pieces. Here you go,
Just-
kid.
Yeah, just whatever. Because
Figure it
they
out.
probably have Legos at the
For
house
real.
anyway, or if
Yeah,
they don't,
here,
they can
add
just leave
these.
them on the floor for somebody else to step on.
Somewhere Rocco Jerome is screaming that Freya the Slayer is in her new gear that makes her more resemble Donna.
Prentice.
Donna
Yeah.
Prentice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Ghost Agents.
From Ghost Agents out now. GhostAgents.net.
There it is.
Love,
there it is. Look
love
at
you,
that.
Rocco. That one's for you, Rocco.
That was
Yeah,
free.
from video, Jackman is holding it up, modeling it, being very careful around the Elvis lamp.
Trying to.
Protect Elvis.
Better.
I think they both looked really, really, really good in the ring, and I think they both just gave it everything.
Yes, they
I mean,
did.
they left it all.
Yeah.
This is a show opening match with a show closing stipulation. They kind of had to go out there and do it. And like I said, unfortunate that all of the momentum that they kind of had because of the table.
Tape.
Table.
It kind of all was
God
sucked
help
out.
the both of them because I'm sure that was not an easy experience for either one of them.
No.
So,
I do think that they made the complete right decision, though, to pivot away from the table. To say once is fine, twice is one thing.
With 3, you get egg roll,
Right.
Yeah.
and we're not
So-
doing that.
We are not going to try and break this table
No.
tonight.
You guys are looking at the video. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that she put J-Rod on the table, hit her, didn't go through, climbed onto
Yep.
J-Rod on the table. So
Yup.
they're both on the cracked table. Then hits her, and it still doesn't give.
If you think that
it
table
cracked
is cracked,
a little
you're
bit more.
cracked.
Yeah.
But that's all.
But that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, no one went through the table.
Nobody went through the table.
The only thing that went through in this match is that pie pan that Freya threw after J-Rod got
Yeah.
hit with it. Because that thing went through the ring and into the audience, and I thought, oh, it's going to be that kind of night.
Yeah.
There were like 2 or 3 times when objects from the match went sailing out into the back corners of Davis Arena or into the audience or something. Everybody was fine. Nobody got hurt. It was just a really good visual.
That
That's
we
all.
know of.
the table wanted
As far
to
as you
win.
know. Well, okay, that table hurt. Yeah, that's beside the point.
The table might file suit, but we don't know yet.
Freya the Slayer takes the victory.
PJ would take the case.
I'm sure he would.
Bout number 2, the stipulation is a blindfold match. The competitors are Super Z and the OVW Rush champion Star Rider. Apt, I think, with both of them in masks to make it a blindfold match. I think it was a smart booking decision. there.
Didn't we mention a blindfold match not too long ago when we were talking about the spin the wheel, make the deal, spin the choice?
Man, I say so much shit on here.
You didn't say it, I did.
I think he said it. a
That's
couple
what I'm
weeks
saying.
ago.
I don't know. I don't know what I say. I don't know what he says. I just talk.
And then we saw Star Rider last week.
We did.
I mean,
And,
he invaded our space. It was
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling when
Wow.
he was here it was going to be Star Rider versus Super Z.
Although
So I
it
wasn't
occurs-
surprised.
Which was great.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We love Star Rider.
Even before the revolution.
Even before the revolution, we love Super Z. You know,
Yeah.
the whole blindfold.
Tell us no. Go for it.
I just really didn't get it for me.
It could have been a better stipulation for sure.
If there were
I think it went too long. I think it was just kind of. I
It was
mean,
dragging.
you guys didn't hear me yelling. This is boring. I mean,
there were a couple people that had that expressed their views and opinions, and that is what it is. That's what
I know.
wrestling is all about.
I love seeing both of them in the ring.
Great wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the few spots we got that were normal were nice.
Well, it's the stipulation, the blindfold.
They did the best they could with that.
Sure,
shit.
absolutely.
The hardest stipulation to pull off in a live environment or taped environment. Honestly, like, it is an incredibly hard match to pull off, period.
That is as hard as the hardest part of the ring.
When you go back through all of the stipulations in the history of wrestling, you can name ladder matches. Name 5 good ladder matches. Everybody can. Name 5 good Hell in a Cells. Everybody can. Name 5 good Royal Rumbles. Everybody can. Go through all the stipulations.
Name 5 good blindfold matches.
Jake the Snake had one back in the day,
Right.
and beyond that, who was it?
Number 2 could be this one.
Who did Jake the Snake
And
wrestle in
Go
that
with it.
match? Do you know?
Huh?
Who did Jake the Snake wrestle in that match?
You are asking the wrong member
Sorry, I
of this
meant
team.
to ask
I think it
this.
might be. I think because he got. It was Rick the Model Martel because he sprayed the perfume in
Well, yeah.
his eyes.
Yeah.
And that's how Jake got blinded, right? And then
Blinded.
right. That's how I think.
I think so. I was thinking about that last night, and I hadn't gotten a chance to go back and see it. But that's what that match reminded me
here's
of.
the thing though, if it was that good of a match, we would have all said, "Oh, it's Jake the Snake." Blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah.
But
We had to think about it a minute.
the thing about the stipulation in and of itself is, even the best version of it is forgettable, and that's not Star Rider's fault. And that's not Super Z's fault.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's
Yeah, but even Star being Star and being part of the revolution and cheating. Not that he cheated, because he didn't. But, you know.
I mean, he raised his mask
he
and
did-
looked with his own
He
eyes.
did,
unshielded.
absolutely he did.
You know,
But,
if that's
I mean, that
cheating,
didn't
then,
even, you know.
yeah. I mean, a little bit of chicanery is to be expected.
Sure.
But
It would be wrestling without it, right?
As a wise man once said, "Suck it up, Buttercup. This is professional
This
wrestling."
is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I do just, especially after the street fight as the opener,
Yeah.
it's a really slow burn of a match to be put in this
We
position.
were just kind of all up here, and then we just kind of went,
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I didn't really have any problems with the match. It was a little long,
Yeah.
but I like the storytelling.
it gave us a break, I guess.
Yeah, where they're wrestling, but they're not really wrestling, and they're trying to get the crowd to do the radar and hot and cold and all that. And I don't know. It would have been cool if there would have been like blindfolds and like if you touch something, you're going to get like zapped or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, now we're getting now we're
An
getting into
electric
FMW
fence.
territory. Yeah. Now we're getting into Onita territory. Yeah, let's do that. I want to
Or
see.
if you hit the wrong corner, there's like a bee's hive or something, and then just yeah.
What's that?
A
one,
bunch of Beyonce fans.
what's that? What's that one game that they on Star Trek Deep Space Nine that Worf almost died in? Where he had to touch the thing.
Well, that's just death fighting.
I think that we should bring that in as a stipulation.
Okay, well they got to touch the thing.
Yeah, you got to every time you get knocked down, you have to stand up to
And
touch.
touch a
and
ring
then
post.
they
Touch
got
a ring
yeah,
post. Yeah.
Tasia or something.
No, not tasers.
Not necessarily, but
That's
that is
the-
a Klingon thing. But that's not this.
Yeah, that's. I just think that would be cool. If I was booking it, that'd be a cool stipulation.
Revolution takes the win here with Star Rider clearly peaking.
Clearly.
But, you know, it's his business.
He did.
So you guys are you guys Revolution or OVW? Do you really?
Well-
You're allowed to be Revolution. You can
I know,
just say it.
and we are,
we
because
are.
Crixus, but, I mean,
It's ironic because I have so many times in my head almost called them Wendy and Lisa, which is of course the Revolution, Prince and the Revolution's guitar players.
Oh yeah.
I'm Wendy. This is Lisa.
Yeah.
But I just hear the beginning of Computer
why
Blue.
can't I say Wendy?
Nope, learn a whole new name.
Yeah, Wendy and Ren of the Revolution. Star Rider peaks, he cheats, takes the victory, etc., etc. Hour one main event, my friend.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen one of these, and I missed the stipulation because I was probably talking to you guys.
Probably.
But the stipulation on this one is a lumberjack strap match, and there have been maybe one or two I've seen live. I've always been a big fan of them going back to the LJN days. You being a fan of that era and Cowboy Bob Orton, I still have all those guys. They're across the street, and when the guys aren't here, sometimes I set everything up and I have my own lumberjack match with the ring that's in there. But that's beside the point.
That's what that camera's
this
for.
is
It actually records.
This is a
24/7.
lumberjack strap match where everybody on the outside of the ring, they don't have like these belts you're going to get at like the Walmarts or the Van Lunens, or they have these big.
What?
It's a local chain.
Not local to here.
Yeah,
Local to Ohio, kids.
local to your small town where Mosey's the speed limit.
Wow.
Unlike in Texas.
Wow.
Nice.
See, yeah, they were weight belts, I guess you'd call those. There's the nice broad things.
Yeah, the weightlifting belts. Yeah, all leather.
Yeah.
Are you mad because I made fun of the Lower Brown County?
Now you do it all the time.
You could have said something about the Amish.
I'm scared of
Do
them.
you
I
know
watched.
the Amish community in the Lower Brown County?
No comment.
That's what I thought.
I saw a documentary called Amish Mafia about 10 years ago. It was clearly true
Where do you think they filmed it?
in the Lower Brown County.
We don't talk about
Is there an Upper Brown County?
No, it's
find
Ohio.
out.
It's all lower.
Are you done?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
We're
You
sorry.
two guys done?
I was just genuinely curious.
No, go for it. Do you have any more Ohio jokes?
No.
Small
No.
town?
No.
Buckeye?
No.
Anything?
No, we
You
hadn't
sure?
even said Buckeye, man.
Yeah.
Not today. That's Victor. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us about this match.
My small town was really small too. I understand. It's so the lumberjack match, of course, is the idea of it is to keep the two competitors inside of the ring at all times.
Yeah.
This lumberjack match, though, has Tony Evans, Jay De Niro, and Will Austin, which, of course, are the other three components in the National Heavyweight Championship match on Saturday night.
Which is tonight.
Oh, yeah, tonight. So, obviously, when you're looking at Will Austin, Jay De Niro, and Tony Evans, they have a little bit more of a reason to keep EC3 battered and beat up.
Not only that, but Leather Daddy Doug's handing out $1,000 bills to anybody who gets a lick in, for crying out loud.
That's true. That's
Do you know who got the first lick in?
I
I do.
Oh,
do
look at
too.
that with the
Was it
scoop.
Tony?
do it.
It was Tony.
I thought so
Tony.
because
It was
I
Tony.
think he went out that side of the ring.
He needs that money for his pet cat Merlin.
He needed
Yeah,
the money
he
for
does.
Merlin.
He does.
He has a cat. He's a cat guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Don't
it is
tell him
named
we told you.
Merlin.
His name is
And,
Merlin.
and
yes.
he will beat you.
He will.
If you talk about his cat.
Yes.
You know me. I love cats.
We literally had to cat-proof this studio not 2 weeks ago. So, well, not a week ago.
Yeah.
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 The Pikachu.
My cute little cat.
Yeah. Kitten chew.
He was so worried. Tiny Bride was, and I was just like,
I was like, that cat is going to poop live on camera.
I was like,
No.
It's
no.
going to be the first cat pooping on OVW air, and we're all going to get fired.
No, it was fine. She was great.
Kitten chew.
I choose you.
So, with EC3, it occurs to me, it seems like every time I have actually watched him wrestle, the first thing he does every time is jump the hell out of the ring.
Yes.
And so I thought this is the perfect stipulation to actually make EC3 wrestle somebody. And not
That's
just
actually
stand
a
around.
great
Fascinating,
observation.
isn't
That's a
it?
great observation.
Look at me. I know wrestling things now. It's only taken a year and a half.
Not only does he jump out of the ring, he's just never there to defend his belt.
Or do promos.
Or
No.
do
Anything,
promos.
really?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a promo into my phone and then I'll send it to you.
Over Skype or whatever.
Yeah. We just
'Cause
don't see
I'm-
him a lot. It's like, if you're going to be here, come show up and do the things.
And
But-
to be honest with you, I'm just so over it, man.
too.
Oh, yeah.
You're the champion that we can see.
Oh,
you.
that's somebody
You're
make that sign. Over it, man.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
over it, man.
I'm over it, man.
Here's the prospect that I'm most worried about after this past Thursday's night show.
You've been hinting at this for a week that you wanted this whatever this is.
He's gonna be a baby face, and he's gonna keep the damn thing.
I hope you're wrong.
There were people.
I hope,
there were
I
people.
know.
There were people baby facing him in the crowd.
Okay, so please forgive me, Mama Mammoth, but Mama Mammoth Donovan Cecil's mother. I was sitting right next to her.
Yeah?
She was totally rooting for EC3. And I'm like, no.
Please, let's not forget this man. What this man has been. I expect a new masked faction to show up and save him.
Yeah,
That's what
I can forget about him because he's never there.
This is a sassy episode.
Well,
Welcome to the Sizzler. Table for 4.
I remember Sizzler.
I do
Sizzler.
too.
I know.
I love Sizzler.
I'm
Let's go to
just on the
Sizzler
road.
now.
Sizzler now.
we don't have
The
one,
Sizzler.
but we do have. We got pretty much everything else in Lexington. It's it's every single fast food chain of all time is in Lexington, just not Sizzler.
All the best bourbon you could ever want in the other room.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
right around
We
the
have
corner.
that all here.
Yeah. I was
Anyway.
surprised to see that Leo Fox was the opponent.
Yeah.
The announcers did mention that he is apparently one of EC3's students.
Okay.
I
So
thought
when
you were
that
going to say
ends up-
Stooges.
No, well,
My bad.
Yes, but
That was good. That was good.
I did see him out in the parking lot prior to this match talking to EC3,
so yeah,
or maybe directly after. I did, but you can tell that they have a close relationship.
and it feels like Leo is fresh out of some sort of training, given that he's been here and been pretty consistent the last several weeks, and feels like this may be kind of a graduation thing if he's been training with EC3. You know, come and count the lots for me, kid.
Well,
some people get money for graduation or a car. Some people get beat up by EC3. It just it's just how
What
it
a
works.
great gift.
He was actually the OVW show in Milwaukee at Turner Hall.
Yep.
That was the first time we saw him, Leo Fox.
Back
Okay.
in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
he's one of those guys that, I mean, if former military, you kind of can't ask for anything better.
No.
True.
In terms of the work ethic that this person possesses.
Strong
Right.
background,
Thank you for
yeah.
your
Yeah.
service.
And
Yes.
Yes,
obviously,
thank you for your service.
but like to get, also, if you're, I don't want to assume anyone's situation, but if he served his time, and left in high standards, maybe he just like wrestling is a thing he always wanted to do. And now he has the time and the money to be able
And
to
the
do it,
physicality.
and the physicality to be able to do
Physicality,
it. And like I don't know what exactly his situation is. Maybe we'll be able to sit down with him one day on this podcast and find out a
certainly
little
hope
bit
so.
more about him. But like you gotta love the idea of a guy that's been through a lot, has dedicated his life to something else, and now it's like, let's learn how to wrestle.
I think I want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And
Let's do it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm
YOLO.
Yeah, for someone to call themselves Battleborn, that
Battleborn, yeah.
definitely seems to have a backstory kind of built into it.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
We
sure.
we hope to get to talk to Leo at some point pretty soon.
This is the only lumberjack match I've ever seen where there were only 3 lumberjacks.
Well,
Usually it's like the rest of
There's
the
four.
locker room. And
I
everybody's
know,
up there.
but I think the premise behind it was, like mentioned before, it's because those are the 3
Yeah,
contenders
it's all
for-
centered around the match,
Yeah.
but it's like there's only 3 lumberjacks, and that's not like a whole lot of trees or anything. But my favorite part of this match is when he does actually go outside, and then everybody is
Swarms
itching
is
to like
swarming
swing
on him.
that
See,
belt.
I told you he got the first hit.
Have you ever
had to be Tony.
Do you guys
did.
know the show My Name Is Earl?
Yes.
Did you see the episode where he's trying to give the computer back and Randy's trying to pledge the fraternity and they want to paddle him and he's like, "You're not going to paddle me. No, why would you do that?" And they were like, "Well, they paddled us." And he's like, "Well, why don't you paddle them?" And then everybody's like trying to whip each other's ass with these paddles. That's what the scene outside of the ring was like. Everybody's just trying to like hit each other and then like people get hit and stuff like that. I thought that was like the best part of the whole thing as far as this match goes. Do I have an idea of who I think has a stronger position moving into tonight's pay-per-view? I don't know if I do. Not
Hush.
yet.
While we're here, predictions for tonight's pay-per-view.
Yeah,
On
this
this-
is the only
On
match
this
we know
four-way.
of.
Yeah.
This is the only match we know of.
This
Okay,
is the only one we know.
I'll go. Because if it doesn't come out this way, I'm protesting hard.
You did use the word riot earlier.
I did. I will.
strong
Riot.
word.
I
Would you
will.
care to burn a couch later?
I will.
All right.
I
That's
how we
totally
You're in
will.
the right. You're in the right place
Fantastic.
for it,
But
baby.
I will.
Kentucky.
I will justify my answer though, because, okay, if EC3 doesn't retain, which he probably will, because that's just the way that they do things.
Yeah, they finally convinced us that he's not going to lose it,
Right.
which is probably why he'll lose it now. But I agree with you.
Superior Tony Evans is clearly the only guy who should walk away with the national heavyweight title. Why? Because he is the only guy in this match that's held the heavyweight title.
There it is.
You were absolutely right.
De Niro's never held it.
No.
Will Austin is a Rush Division guy, but he's not the current Rush Division champion. Neither one of them deserve it. Sorry.
Well,
Not sorry.
That is a very good point.
Hush is the only one who deserves it.
And then
And
he
I
needs to
second
fight.
that.
And then he needs to fight with Jay De Niro a lot.
A lot, and they need to break up.
No, I want to see them wrestle. Like
I do. I would like to see. Yes,
Yeah.
I would love to see them wrestle, and I would love to see them break up because Tony is a better wrestler by himself.
Agreed.
Thank you.
That was going to be my follow-up question.
Yes,
Given the match at tonight's pay-per-view,
tonight's paper.
do you think that we'll eventually see that?
Yes.
And if so, will it be tonight?
Hopefully, and then they can
Hopefully,
have
and yes.
a little rivalry just because Jay would want that, but Tony's not going to give it an ounce.
Right.
And they're going to give a little animosity, a little jealousy, and like, oh well, you could have done better with me or not, and that's where the tension can be. Where they could start something, Tony and Jay.
Absolutely. I think it is primed and ready to go. We just have to hit ignition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both of those guys want to be starting something.
I'm actually gonna go. So we have two Tony Evans. Are you a Tony Evans?
I am a Tony Evans, by the way.
Tony Bryan's a Tony Evans.
He chose wisely.
Are you a Tony Evans?
I am not.
I know.
Are you a retain?
I am Jay De Niro. I have actually gone from joking about how it could not happen to fully talking myself into it, and I will still get the tattoo if he wins.
Is this what we were going to talk about? Because you said that, yeah, I've got reasons that we'll talk about on the OVW podcast.
Yeah, you.
Would this be that time, or are
So,
we just going to...
just looking at it,
Talk to me.
Will
Talk to me, Jackman.
Will Austin, for the reasons that you said, not enough of a pedigree yet. Known as a Rush Division guy. One of my favorite guys. Everybody knows that. EC3 should lose it. I think it's time for EC3 to lose it. I think everybody wants EC3 gone.
We've lost hope
Absolutely.
that he'll ever lose it, so now it's time for him to lose it.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Tony Evans is the smart choice because of what you said, which is why Jay De Niro will screw Tony.
And then
Absolutely,
they'll
he will
wrestle
screw
on.
Tony. Exactly. Yep.
The
Yep.
betrayal.
And I can see that.
If there's
I can totally see
$10,000
that.
on the line, definitely.
Well, and
Say it.
no,
Say it.
no.
Now you got to.
What about interpretive dance? Would that work?
Well, the child support.
Oh, wow. That got a little personal, even for the podcast. Look at that.
Well, I'm just going to hit the old dusty trail.
So
Wow.
Last episode of the OVW podcast. Next week on
It's
this.
been a great run,
Next
kids.
week on this feed, join Wendy and Ren for the Wisco Chicks podcast. It's a much more interesting podcast than what we've been running.
We'll have you back.
Thank you.
Sounds delightful.
Everyone comes back. Then you can take over again.
You hear things, you know. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Well, technically, this is what this podcast is for. Is for the things we, for
See,
the
this is
behind the
after dark.
scenes and No, this ain't quite after dark. Someday.
It's only
there'll be-
5:30.
This
only
is
5:30.
like sunset or something.
Yeah.
So the first match of hour 2 here. A casket match.
EC3 wins the match. We didn't say that.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Well, of
I was
course
trying to
EC3
to get away from talking about Jay De Niro and his financial situation as quickly as possible. Hollywood Haley J. Holly dead Haley J.
This might have been my favorite match of the night.
That was a great.
It
was.
seriously
Yes.
It was a
was.
great
Yeah,
match.
what an
And
incredible.
Maybe the biggest pop too. Oh, see, there they are, just with the straps, just
popping.
wham.
Walloping.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
The biggest pop of the night, Hollywood Haley J. Is that what you're
landing
saying?
on that coffin.
Oh yeah.
That was the biggest thud.
So you guys.
She hit hard too.
God, I
But the women's matches from last night overall
Were
were the best. They were the
amazing.
best.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they were
really
definitely
were.
the
I
best.
think I agree with you.
Tend to be, and like, hard to put your finger down on why, hard to put your thumb down on why, but there's just something, and has been something really special in that women's division for a long time.
You think Mickey James? Probably.
I
'Cause
think that
so.
would be
Yep.
a good,
It wasn't a slouch
there's the thumb
before,
right
Nikki.
there.
Yeah, you're on to something.
So-
You got it.
While we're talking about how excellent the women's division is, I have finally given up on my personal thing of getting women's tag championship. However, I have a new thing, and I want your opinions on it. If you had a secondary women's championship, would you want a women's rush division champion or a women's national champion?
I think Rush.
I love Rush.
I love Rush.
I've seen Rush. Thanks
Because
to
it rhymes with Hush.
Brian.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Brian.
That's my only superpower is free concert tickets.
They don't have a rush division for women.
Unfortunately, but there could be a subdivision.
They just no. I mean, they don't have the people. They don't have the people. They don't have no. They have like one person, honestly, that I would say wrestles that style consistently, and she's brand new to the she's brand new to the organization. So, given between those two choices, I would have to go national, but I think that tag would be smarter.
Look, tag is
Tag
still
would
my
be
first
fun,
thing.
I like
but
the tag better idea.
Sure.
yeah, I mean that was my first one, but nobody's going to do that one for me. So I'm trying to find, if not that, what's the next best thing? So
A national heavyweight championship, if it's used kind of in the same function as like a bigger timer, a part timer, like
that's the notion.
That's it.
If there was something like that, I think that would be a huge deal for OVW. If there were like somebody on like the national level who
Carrying that women's
carrying that belt, who came in and had storylines with Holly Hood or Freya or Tiffany or anybody really.
Right.
I mean, that would be fantastic. The Rumble's coming up. Wouldn't it be neat if at the end of the Women's Rumble there was a belt like that, and then somebody major from, that everybody knows or a lot of people know came in and won that? And then
Or
that
Layla
was-
Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
She
say,
would be a
or
great comeback.
Layla could come back and do that.
Yeah. You,
There's no one I can think of who I would rather put that national on.
That would be the
first time.
mostest, bestest.
I
I,
Layla
I
Gray.
was the OVW women's champion for like 5 seconds last night.
Yes, you took
Yeah.
our pictures.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
5 whole seconds.
That is not in
And
my
then
notes.
she's like, hey.
Now it is.
Layla would be ready made for that, but not only that, but we're at a time period where there is an entire generation of legitimate women's wrestlers out there who can fill the role of an EC3, who we recognize from TV. Oh, we love these matches that you used to have. We loved your character, but they're just not in the mainstream anymore. They're just not on the big leagues anymore. Like, there is an EC3 type equivalent on the women's side of things, for sure, for a national championship.
But see, I like the idea. If we're talking about just the Rumble that's coming in January.
Yeah.
Now, if we had enough time to prep this for the new heavyweight women's champion, that belt can be on a line, and then it would be a nice surprise for someone like Layla to come back, and that'll be the stipulation right there to build itself up.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great segue, if you will.
For sure. Absolutely. I love that.
But not to get too far past this particular match, because
No.
let's talk a little bit more about Holiday and Haley J here, because this was an incredible match.
I was
between these
really,
two.
really hoping above all the other stipulations that we would get a casket match, because
Yes.
those
Same.
are
Yes.
among
Same.
my favorites.
Same.
Well,
Going
that
back
casket is there all year. They're certainly going to use it on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Going back to when I was a kid, my favorite casket was the scenario with the Undertaker and the Ultimate Warrior. If you remember that.
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Harrowing growing up. So anytime I get to see a match like this, it's a big treat for me. But like the commentary team said, I've never seen anybody use the casket like a partner, as a weapon.
True.
And here we are. Just wow.
Mollywopping.
We're getting ready to watch. There it is.
Yeah,
that
that had to
suplex
hurt.
onto the top
Yeah,
of the
that had to
casket.
hurt.
You could see the dent. You could hear the thud. I'm sure that was painful. I'm sure it was.
Picture perfect technique, though, from both of those ladies on that one.
It was.
Exactly. How Haley can take these kind of matches too, it's like what she's used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's definitely
Yeah,
in her
she
element.
was definitely. That was a brawl. And both of them were
Phenomenal.
amazing.
Holodead is a TV star. Like, legit. Like, she comes out, she commands the camera, she commands the room, she has a very easily decipherable presence. Holodead is a great little addition to the OVW roster, and she doesn't have to be there week in and week out because she brings the goods every time she comes, and she gets a great reaction. But for me, watching her wrestle, she's a TV star, and that's just nice to see in OVW where sometimes you don't get all of the charisma all at once.
But in this match, you definitely get two people who are kind of at that level of fully formed characters here that are just going toe to toe.
Yeah, and I mean they worked with each other. They learned how to do TV from the same place. So great match, ladies.
It really was.
Yeah, anytime you get to see Holodead just kind of popping out of nowhere, you know it's going to be a good time. Going to have a good match. Very entertaining.
But of course, not her night.
They're both really good. No.
Although at the very end, you think that Haley's got it, and she's about to shut the lid, and she gets the Undertaker treatment from Holodead, and she grabs her, and you think that she's going to be able to fight out of it, but the trusty Sock of Rocks puts things to an end.
That's right.
Yeah, even if you're undead, still get knocked out by that Sock of Rocks.
You have to remember at the end of the day that Hollywood Haley J is from the streets.
Yeah.
This is an important fact.
Yeah, this is
she won't let you forget it.
Serious business, she'll tell you.
Hollywood takes the victory.
Let's move on to my favorite match of the night.
Yes.
The tag team match?
Oh, I thought you were about to say it. I thought you were going to say it. I thought I was going to let you say it since it was your favorite.
Can do it. Yeah, this is I guess we're no longer called. Oh, look, nope, he's going to do it. This is a Human Thumb, but who is now being cheered as a full-on babyface, Adam Revolver.
And you love to see it, folks.
I mean,
you love to see it.
But if you would have asked me in January,
we lovingly call him Skim Milk.
Skim Milk. We call him the Human Thumb. He is full-on translucent, to be sure.
Yeah, he's like those cave fish that you can just kind of see right through.
Well, that's why last night was perfect for him. He was dressed as a ghost.
He is his own Halloween costume. Comes to the ring, wants Shannon the Dude in a match.
Oh, yeah, that looks just like him.
See, he was all angry before, but now he's all happy.
We've just changed the expression. Okay, that is much better.
Well, yeah, heel Adam is all, but
he doesn't have angry
he's
eyes.
face Adam is.
Oh, it's a thumb giving a thumbs up. That is
Right.
the most meta thing we've ever done.
Really looking forward to Adam Revolver's promo on Thursday.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens on Tuesday night, Adam Revolver is going to have a field day.
Yeah, I am really looking.
yeah.
That might be the match that I look forward to the most on tonight's pay-per-view. Is getting to see Adam Revolver get some revenge after this match, because I mean, this was like a classic, like, kind of circus match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Adam Revolver is handcuffed. You think he's going to be handcuffed to Shannon the Dude, but he's actually handcuffed to Adam Revolver.
Yeah.
Awkwardly
Between his legs.
through the
Yeah, it was like
The per diem.
He was ankle cuffed, or
no, he was cuffed. He was
yeah.
like this, but it was like this.
Oh,
yeah.
that tain't what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It tain't.
The per diem.
Anyway, so he is handcuffed and at a clear disadvantage, and you would think that Shannon would be able to capitalize on that, but
He can't really.
No. Well, first of all, Adam managed to stay with that leg like that for approximately 38 seconds. First time he hit his back, the leg pops out, and now he's just, handcuffed, and he's fine.
Slightly fine. He's still getting dog walked.
if he can beat Linda Kay with one hand tied behind his back, I fully believe that he could
Beat Shannon
beat
with
Shannon
no
the Dude
hands.
With no hands. Is that what happened? No. I think it could have, but
It was a Sequin Daddy Doug.
yeah, he probably went to the Sequin Mine and got that from the Sequin
His new
Mine gift
monarch.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, with a little help from Doug Basham, Shannon the Dude takes the win this time, which means that I would guess that we're going to get a rematch at tonight's pay-per-view.
I love Shannon just really twisting in the headlock to get the advantage over Adam. So he's such a goober. Shannon is as a character.
Yeah.
But like, kind of the only person that you could make Adam Revolver a face off of.
It's Shannon the Dude.
True.
Yeah. Any other
Interestingly
time, I don't think
enough.
would work.
Because who's more douchier?
Right.
Apparently, Shannon the Dude.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we're 70 minutes into this, so let's get on to our main event here. As it has been so lovely having you all here, so we just went a little longer on purpose.
You guys are I'd much rather have you than Rocco Jerome.
Oh wow! Now we're starting. Wow! This is the
I'm just
spiciest
kidding. I'm just
episode of the
kidding.
Great.
podcast
We're going to see
ever.
all these people at
just kidding.
tonight's pay-per-view, and then there's going to be like heat and fisticuffs and just.
We got
You don't think I can handle Rocco?
That's an A&B conversation. You see your way out of it.
Is this going to be a match we don't know about yet?
Yeah, on the parking
This
lot.
is the dark match.
Yeah, the
really dark
the
match.
real
The
street
really-
fight.
The
Yeah,
real
the
street
really
fight.
the really
Yeah,
dark
really
street.
dark
Yeah.
street fight. Yeah.
No, see, I in all seriousness, thank you guys so much. It's been a long time coming. And
Yes.
we are so glad to have you down today.
you
We're
for
we're
having
so
us.
very honored,
you.
honestly.
we are very
Thank
glad.
you
We'll have
so
you.
much.
Yeah, plan to do this every time you come to Kentucky from now on.
All
so
right.
Right,
because you don't come
right.
every week, so
No,
basically
we don't.
It's
plan
just
it
a once
for
in
the
a while thing.
Yeah.
And
whenever you can.
more often than not, correct me if I'm wrong, it's pay-per-view weekend.
We
yeah,
try.
So we'll
yeah.
always be
Well, then,
doing
yeah.
a Friday show on a pay-per-view weekend.
Okay.
So
Open invitation.
yeah.
Cool.
Open
Thank you.
invitation.
Cool.
Anyway, let's take this home.
Yeah, radio champion Shannon the Dude wins the match. I don't think
He
we
does.
want to make sure we got that in there.
Radio champion.
The Halloween Hell Night main event. It is an OVW Tag Team Championship match. It's a Revolution Rules match. Do we know what that
Yes.
means?
I believe it
It means that
Means
do
Doug
Leather
can do
Daddy
anything.
I'll do
Doug
whatever the hell I
can
want.
make up
Whatever
the
we want.
rules
Yeah.
Okay.
as it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It means
Fair.
that
Make them ups on the spot.
it's the
Fair.
equivalent of being in 5th grade and you're the guy who has the ball, who owns the ball, so you get to decide whatever the rules of the game are because it's your ball.
Just like in Foursquare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
there
Doug
you
is.
And if I don't get to make up the rules and I don't win, then I'm going to take my toys and go home.
I thought you were just
Exactly.
going to flip the table and burn the couch.
Exactly.
That will come
That too.
later, after dark.
Okay, I guess it's maybe just a regional thing.
Yes.
Okay, all right, fine.
Doug.
I won't bring any cheese curds.
OVW is Doug's ball by all definitions, essentially. So I kind of like that definition of what a Revolution Rules match is. Don't worry, I make all kinds of worse noises than the open soda on here. Is that what that was? Am I losing my mind?
I
Were
believe
you
that
opening
was-
a soda? Oh,
It's water.
I believe it was PS opening a soda.
I thought you just I just happened to look and you
Yeah,
were doing it
and
all,
I'm-
and it just happened to be at the same speed
At
that
the same
PS
ti-
was.
I know.
Sorry.
So weird.
PS, you know better than open sodas.
PS
If it
is
was
having has some congestion, some allergy issues. So let's cut our
feel ya.
studio engineer a little grace
I
today.
feel you.
All right, this once. The OVW tag champions Omar Amir and Cal Hero go up against the Blockbusters.
Oh my God.
Everyone's favorite tag team in this room.
Can we
Said
take
no one
another
ever.
hour to talk about how much we hate the Blockbusters?
Tiny, why do you not like the Blockbusters?
Okay, let's see. Let's go through it. They're athletic enough, and their move set is not awful. The gimmick makes my soul itch. The thing where they hold their hand up and they rotate it like they're physically exposing film to
They're
the
local
light.
charades enthusiasts.
Yes, they are in fact charades enthusiasts, and I just can't with them. And the Blockbusters makes me think they should be from Oregon because that's where the last Blockbusters is. And I think
I'm
they
with
should
you
go
on
back
this, And I feel like the ring gear should be Blockbuster blue with yellow
Yes.
trim.
Yes.
I would probably like
Yes.
them better if it was.
Or
But see, that would clash with the Omar's blue trunk.
And everyone would think they're Swedish.
ring jackets. Bork. Ring jackets that were Blockbuster carpet.
Ooh.
Do you
Wow.
remember the carpet from
That's,
Blockbuster?
that sounds like cigarette smoke.
You couldn't smoke in Blockbuster in the 2000s.
Well,
Yes,
at
you
any-
could.
You're
In
thinking of
Danville,
bowling
Kentucky, you
alleys.
You
could.
sure could. In Pike County, Kentucky, you
Yes,
sure
you
could.
certainly could.
Okay, that's right. You're from
What do
Pike
you
County,
guys
they do
think
things
about the
different.
Blockbusters?
See, that's the thing. We
Okay.
don't really know them. There was not enough build up. We needed more
Right.
background.
No,
I mean-
because they walked out and I was like, and
Wendy, just remember this is a PG-13
I did.
podcast.
I did.
She's
I
the
did.
only one in the last 3 weeks who has.
I try really hard.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I was like, who are these people? And why are they going against Cal Hero and Omar Amir, who have been here forever? And then
Because
And-
it's Doug's ball.
because it's exactly.
That was a surprise to me too, because the times we've seen him, it's mostly been on the
Overdrive.
pre-show Overdrive.
You're gonna-
The
You're
show that
gonna-
kicks out at 2.
Right.
I mean, they hyped this show so much that it was Halloween Hell Night, and your main event is going to be Cal Hero, who's an OVW superstar, Omar Amir, who's an OVW superstar, and 2 newcomers, and that's your main event? No.
Right.
No.
I feel like we've
Well,
only seen
no.
them 3 times.
The super
I
fans
do
were
have
not
a
happy.
I do have a counter argument
Okay.
in the form of J-Rod. She was basically the same situation, and
Yeah, I know, and I was
she's-
mad.
Well, yeah, I may have been a little mad at the time. She's proved it right.
Yeah?
So as much as I personally dislike the gimmick, and I agree with you on that, let's maybe see what they can do, I guess.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's
I-
give
that
them a
was
chance, but
Like, give us a little backstory.
I'm with them.
You
I
just
mean,
wanna
I was
connect a little
surprised
bit
to
more.
hear you say that.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is why I hate these guys. It's like I don't feel like I know anything about them really, other than the
I
couple
just-
times we've seen them in the dark matches.
I
with
just
the
find them
Reds.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I find
I find a lot
the,
of things ridiculous, but you
the
gotta
silly
roll with it.
camera prop. Like, you have a phone, bring your phone out.
yeah,
like Sean
see,
Logan.
exactly.
And if you're going to pantomime and you want to pantomime a professional camera, pretend you have something resting on your shoulder. Hold
Mm-hmm.
your hand out in front of you. Frame a shot. There's other ways to do it that doesn't
like our
look like my
ringside
grandparents.
friends at OVW, exactly.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, if you need to see how a camera looks,
Exactly.
look 4 foot to your left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Revolution rules match we've established. This just means Doug gets to do anything he wants.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a match where you can change the rules 2 or 3 times.
And Doug certainly does that.
Well,
Yep.
because this is Doug Basham's OVW.
Yeah.
First, it was 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
Which, according to Meatloaf, ain't bad.
That's true.
Wow.
Um,
this has
Right.
been this has
Because he
been
would do
hilarious.
anything but that.
But not that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So, I
and
think
there are no other Meatloaf.
I think that
songs.
we've kind of given.
I could go on, but
I think that we've kind of given the match away, the ending of the match away here in our complaints. The Blockbusters take away the victory after, and it's not for lack of trying on Cal and Omar's part. Of course, we mentioned Doug keeps changing the stipulation until he finally finds one the Blockbusters can walk away victorious with.
Yeah, let's go through all of these because first it was 2 out of they changed it 2 out of
Right,
3
2
falls.
out of 3 falls.
Then anything goes handicap match,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the Revolution comes out.
Yeah.
Then he changes it back to a single fall once the Blockbusters get their first fall.
Right. And
So,
then,
just-
but Luscious came out too.
Yeah, he comes
That
out in
was
the middle
great.
and tries to save him. Yeah, and this is a great little moment.
Yeah.
It was a great moment because you weren't sure in that moment if Luscious was going to turn,
Yeah.
which of course he's not going to turn against Omar. I mean, he
No.
may have. I thought for a second,
If it was just Cal, I think
Yeah.
it's a little different. I think
Yeah,
him and
I-
Omar are. I think they're just money together.
they are.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, yeah. And he didn't, but
And honestly, it kind of seems like last week's Cal Hero and Omar win was to lead up to Luscious's moment of
Decision.
decision making.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was it played out perfectly. You see him come in, and is he going to do it?
He's holding a chair. Who's
He's
he going to hit
holding a
with
chair. Who's he going to hit? He's surrounded by the Revolution. They're all giving him the sign of peace or whatever it is these guys do, and he's about to do it, and then he just drops one of those fingers, and boom, lets you know that he is not joining the Revolution. Hits everybody and their brother with a chair for crying out loud. Still doesn't help,
No.
No.
unfortunately.
New tag team champions, and this time in the form of the Blockbusters.
the Red Box champions.
Red Box champion.
Have you seen that you can
And
just steal
then-
from Redbox all the time now?
No, yeah, nobody's coming back for those Red Box machines.
Do you know who's
Oh,
going to
well.
beat the
You can.
Blockbusters?
Yeah, you can just pop them open.
Who's
and
gonna
take all the
Netflix?
DVDs out.
Netflix, that's right. Netflix.
That's how we
send you
get
a YouTube
season
video.
2 of. That's how we get season 2 of of Wrestlers, is because Netflix will beat the blockbusters, and that's how we get the season 2 of Wrestlers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love.
I
this
don't think they're
storytelling.
going to be in season 2 of Wrestlers.
No, they won't be there because Netflix will have beat them.
Oh, yeah, it's like they're like Bret Hart, where Netflix is the heel in Oregon.
So
Then who's Goldberg?
I have a question though.
Yes.
Is the stipulation that once you win a title at OVW now, because it's revolutionized, that you have to join the revolution? Because now the blockbusters, or whoever they are revolution.
Well, see, you don't have to, but the Revolution has perks. Like you get a 20% discount at Burlington Coat Factory, where you get all these fine leather goods. There's probably some gift cards. You might get like a parking spot.
Intake from
Flying
first row?
miles.
Yeah, frequent flyer miles. Maybe a cat. I don't know. The Revolution's just, they play differently.
You don't want a cat that the Revolution gives you.
No.
Probably not.
You just don't.
No.
So on the way out here, a couple things, ladies. A couple things. Wisco Chicks on all of the Instagram and X. Those are the only two, right?
Correct, and then our personal Facebook where we do our stuff.
Right, and that
Yes.
you can find that on. You guys post all over the fan zone all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Wendy, this is just one serious question. I was wondering if we left here, if you could tell us about a love and a passion that we all share.
Please. We are all ears.
Wrestling is a love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand, a brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally with people everywhere. From counting the lights in your local armory to main eventing at Corcoran Hall in Tokyo, Japan. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
That's.
Not sponsored by Collar and Elbow or Alex.
I just about gave myself an aneurysm not laughing loudly
So
over all
hard.
of that.
I guess we should. We did miss one thing. Sorry, I just wanted to
You
get.
didn't all the way get me, but you almost got me.
Cal finds Doug's remote. The Chain Carnage match, or the Cashflows match on Saturday night becomes the Chain Carnage match.
Tonight.
Or tonight, right.
Which is Saturday night, which is a good night for fighting.
That's right.
And we'll be back soon.
But not soon enough.
Wendy and Ren, again, thank you guys so much for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
It's been a great episode.